that our sons not be raised to die in war. War is irrational. If we are to live on this planet, we must eliminate warfare, which is harmful to all living things. I would urge the whole concept of nature be rethought. Nature, the land, must not mean money. It must designate life. Nature is the storehouse of potential life of future generations and is sacred. Human societies already possess the technologies necessary to provide food, clothing, and shelter for everyone. The organization of distribution of wealth needs to be repaired, for that imbalance destroys both contemporary and future human life and nature. Western society needs to prioritize life-supporting systems and to question its commitment to materialism. Spirituality should be our foundation.
Matthew King, Lakota. A sense of apprehension rides with us like a black cloud as we enter the Pine Ridge Reservation. Perhaps it's the landscape, endlessly bleak, a sullen geology fitting the dark events that have transpired here in South Dakota between the sacred Black Hills and the Badlands. As we drive out from Rapid City, we look ahead for the soaring red and lavender rock spires shown in tourist brochures, hoping to see them lifting up from the horizon to relieve the oppressive flatlands monotony. Then we realize that the Badlands don't rise up from the landscape, they drop off from it, an eroded netherworld of grotesquely beautiful forms, glowing somberly in the quick-changing light. At sundown they are a rage of shifting primal colors, from palest saffron yellow to blood-streaked orange to foreboding scarlet red. We're looking for Matthew King, a well-known traditionalist spokesman of the Lakota people. Don't call us Sioux, we are repeatedly admonished. That's white man's name for us. We are Lakota. We finally reach the little reservation community of Kyle, a school, a couple of stores, a cafe, a crossroads of intersecting blacktops that quickly become dirt, and a cluster of crumbling government-built houses. A neighbor's gaunt-ribbed dog snarls menacingly, but keeps a cautious distance as we knock on Matthew King's screen door. The short, white-haired, almost impish man before us grins in welcome. He leads us through the kitchen into the living room, sparsely but warmly furnished, and motions for us to sit down on a well-worn couch. He sits down in a chair directly across from us. Though the room is dim, Matthew's smile radiates its own illumination. The wall behind him is peppered with small holes.
Goons from the tribal council did that. They accused me of protecting the AIM people, so they shot up the house. Used a shotgun right through the window. My granddaughter was lying right there on the couch where you're sitting. I didn't do nothing. They never investigated it, but we know who they are. Later on, those guys got beaten up pretty bad. We didn't kill them. I told our boys, don't kill them. I don't believe in violence. But if I take my guns, I can do a lot of damage. I'm an Indian warrior. I'll fight till they kill me.
He waves his hand when we try to explain why we're here.
I know why you're here. White man came to this country and forgot his original instructions. We have never forgotten our instructions. So you're here looking for the instructions you lost. I can't tell you what those were, but maybe there are some things I can't explain. It's time Indians tell the world what we know about nature and about God. So I'm going to tell you what I know and who I am. You guys better listen. You got a lot to learn.
He leans forward in his chair and looks into us, right through us.
I'm an Indian. I'm one of God's children. My Indian name is Noble Red Man. That was my grandfather's name. I'm a chief. I say what I have to say. That's my duty. If I don't say it, who's going to say it for me? I'm a prophet of the Indian people. I can see what's coming. I prophesy what's going to happen. I can look right into your eyes and heart and see if you're lying or trying to cheat. I can see if you mean harm to the Indian people. Call me a chief of the Lakota. I'm a speaker for the chiefs. I walk with the Great Spirit, with God. I talk to him. The Great Spirit guides me in my life. Sometimes He comes to me and tells me what to say. Other times I just speak for myself, for Matthew King. I've got Red Cloud's peace pipe. They gave me that when they made me a chief. I wouldn't accept it in the beginning. He's a great man. He made all those treaties. He fought when he had to and beat the white man's soldiers, wiped Custer out. He had a lot of powers. But I'd rather solve my problems through peace. I also have Black Bear's pipe and Noble Red Man's. The peace pipe is our only weapon. It's our holy power. It's God's power. The pipe mediates between man and God. To receive the pipe, to receive God's gift, you've got to be pure in your heart, mind, body, and soul. And never forget that after the prayers, you've got to live that life. The life with God, that's the hardest part. God made everything so simple. Our lives are very simple. We do what we please. The only law we obey is the natural law, God's law. We abide only by that. We don't need your church. We have the Black Hills for our church. And we don't need your Bible. We have the wind and the rain and the stars for our Bible. The world is an open Bible for us. We Indians have studied it for millions and millions of years. We've learned that God rules the universe and that everything God made is living. Even the rocks are alive. When we use them in our sweat ceremony, we talk to them and they talk back to us. When we want wisdom, we go up on the hill and talk to God. 4 days and 4 nights without food and water. Yes, you can talk to God up on a hill by yourself. You can say anything you want. Nobody's there to listen to you. That's between you and God and nobody else. It's a great feeling to be talking to God. I know, I did it way up on the mountain. The wind was blowing, it was dark, it was cold, and I stood there and I talked to God. Once, while I was up on the mountain, I prayed to God to give us a cure for diabetes. And while I was there, somebody said, "Turn around." So I turned around and there was the most beautiful Indian woman I'd ever seen. She had long black hair and the most wonderful face. She was holding something out to me in her hand. It was those little berries of the cedar, the dark blue berries on cedar trees. She held them out, but before I could reach out my hand, she disappeared. I know who she was. She's the one who brought the sacred pipe to our people. We call her a white buffalo calf woman. God sent her to save the Indian people. That was long ago. At that time we were starving. The children were crying. Our hunters circled far and wide to hunt the buffalo and the wild game, but there was nothing, not even a rabbit, not even a bird. We were being punished for having strayed from God, for not knowing Him. His wrath was on us, but still God loved us. He wanted to give His Indian children the pipe so we could talk and pray with Him whenever we wanted. So He sent that beautiful white buffalo calf woman to us with the pipe. She took the bundle with the pipe on her back and set off to carry it to the Indian people. But on her way she met 2 warriors. She set her bundle down and looked at them. They saw how beautiful she was. Man, you can't resist a woman like that. No man is strong enough to resist a woman. You just can't do it. Well, the first warrior was so afraid when he saw her that he just fell down, too scared to move. But the other warrior right away had evil thoughts about that woman because she was so pretty. So she called the one with the wicked mind over to her, and a cloud engulfed him, and when the cloud went away, he just lay there, skin and bones, dead. God don't want no evil thoughts. So I knew when I saw her up on the mountain that this was the same woman, but she disappeared before I could take those blue berries from her hand. Later on, when I got diabetes, I forgot about the berries. They sent me to white man's doctors. They gave me pills. Every morning I had to take insulin. I spent a lot of time in the hospital. Then I remembered white buffalo calf woman and those little blue cedar berries. I picked some, boiled them, strained the juice, and drank it. It's so bitter it took the sugar right out of my body. The doctors checked me and were amazed. They said the diabetes was gone. I didn't have to take insulin anymore. They asked me how I did it, but I didn't say. God gave us medicine to share with people. But if the white man gets his hands on it, he'll charge you a great price and will let you die if you don't have it. is free. God doesn't charge a fee. We don't give money to God. We give Him our prayers, our thanks. And sometimes we give Him the only thing that's really